I have a question. I'm interested in growing some drought-tolerant plants that don't require a lot of inputs. What would you recommend?
Yeah, so we are in our third year of drought, so it's really important if you're thinking about putting in a garden at your home to consider drought-resistant plants to survive those really dry periods we get in the middle of summer in Minnesota. If you're thinking about some easy-to-grow, drought-tolerant plants, 3 that I would recommend as a starting point are purple coneflower, butterfly milkweed, and little blue stem. So with purple coneflower, some of the reasons I like this one are it's a native tallgrass prairie plant, but there are a lot of different cultivars that have been produced from this native plant. There are some cultivars that are very tall, so if you're looking for something to go in the back of your garden that's going to be tall, you can do that. There are some that are shorter, more like 2 feet instead of 5 feet. So depending on what size you want, there's a cultivar out there for you. Another one that I would recommend is butterfly milkweed. Butterfly milkweed grows in a low bunching growth habit, so it usually just grows in your garden about 2 feet tall max. If it were out in nature in a prairie, it would grow taller to compete with the other plants, but if it is in your garden and it doesn't have a lot of competition, it's going to grow shorter. A third plant that I like for a beginner pollinator garden that's drought resistant is actually some ornamental grasses or some native grasses. And so these just help create some more cooling habitat for our critters during those really hot, dry periods. And some of these grasses are extremely drought resistant, like little blue stem. So little blue stem is something that's native to tallgrass prairies, which a lot of Minnesota used to be tallgrass prairie. And you could just plant the native species of little blue stem. It's available at a lot of garden centers throughout Minnesota. Or you could also look for cultivated varieties or improved varieties of little blue stem. These are going to grow in a clumping or bunching growth habit as well. And so they're not going to escape and spread all over your garden. So it's nice to interplant these with your flowers to add interest and green color. There are a lot of drought-resistant plants for your Minnesota garden, but if you're just getting started, those are 3 that I would recommend starting with, and then you can explore from there.
Ask the Arboretum Experts has been brought to you by the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum in Chaska, dedicated to welcoming, informing, and inspiring all through outstanding displays, protected natural areas, horticultural research, and education.